Something else that Suge mentioned when he was on that PBD podcast is that, and I never heard this, and I know
You
you
never
might
heard
not
you
have.
never heard that before?
No, 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 I never heard that before. But he said he wanted to make Ruthless and Death Row together as one company, and that he respected Eazy, and when he went to meet with Eazy, to get him to sign off on the releases or whatever, that he brought two documents. One for just DOC, Michelle and Dre, and then one for those three and all the Ruthless artists so that they could be one company. This is also the segment where he said, which was I was surprised at, and I'll get your thoughts as to what you think this means. But he said that Dre wanted Eazy dead. Did you hear that? And do you have any thoughts on? I know that was a lot in one question, but I guess do you have any thoughts on that segment regarding Eazy, Dre, and Ruthless?
Well, we'll cut to the easier one first. Should with that blaming Dre for being the one that wanted him dead.
Suge tried to destroy my record company with the help of others, Dre. So right now we're getting everything back together and we finna come out, fully loaded.
Please. Look at me and look at Eazy and say, what do I need a bat to force him to do a few things? If I stood up tall and that Eric if he walked between my legs, excuse my French, people probably would think he was my penis. So.
I came in the office and he and Eazy were talking, and I said, "What's going on here?" And Eazy said, "You know this guy Suge Knight?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, I'm going to kill him." He said, "This guy's going to be a problem, and I think I should kill him." And I said, "Let me think this." I said, "Let me think this thing through." I said, "First of all, we're doing $10 million a month with 6 employees. We don't even have a typewriter in the office." I said, "We're the most successful startup record company in the history of the music business, and you want to kill this guy?" I said, "That just doesn't make any sense to me. And you know something? I should have let him kill him."
But he ain't gonna do that because they from Compton together. That's Suge, y'all. That's a Suge. Suge's very entertaining. You know how to talk. You know how to say what people wanna hear. And Dre didn't want Eazy dead. He tricked him. He did trick him to get him up at the studio so Suge and his people could get signed what they felt they needed to get signed, apparently. But Dre don't seem to have that type of hatred or guts, or he didn't. From what I know of Dre, he didn't appear to be like that towards males. Catch that, males. But so I just think that's just Suge being Suge, All right, I'll just leave that there as far as that part. The Ruthless Death Row thing. That was a discussion because they were trying to get the NWA reunion.
Yeah, we could do an NWA reunion album if it's on Death Row.
Mm-hmm. On Death Row.
Without Eazy.
Without Eazy.
It's gonna be called NWE. Niggas without Eazy.
And they were talking about doing a reunion. And Suge's whole thing was, hey, if it's going to be a reunion, it's going to be on Death Row. And the talks of that, that's between Priority Records and Suge. Suge has always had a great relationship with Brian Turner. And I think Eazy always had a great relationship with Brian as well. And that's just probably when they was negotiating the Dre stuff, because as y'all always told y'all, Priority has always had a ownership, even still to this day, of anything that Dr. Dre puts out on agreement. If y'all ever notice, if y'all go and look at the stuff when Universal just had or Interscope just had a straight deal with Universal, anything that Dre was on, Priority Records label was on the back as the distributor as well. So that would be why Suge and them had ever talked about Ruthless or Death Row. That's the only reason. Now, the two different contracts. Yeah, Suge was trying to get all of them. He was trying to get Hutch and them, which was a group above the law, DOC, of course. And all of them was called, reach out to him and say, hey, we want you to be our manager. We want you to be our manager. And they was trying to get away from Eric at that time. But is that the contract where he supposedly wrote something like F you or something like that on it? Maybe that was the one that he signed that way or something. I don't know. But he definitely did sign the one for Dre, Miss Chalet, and I believe the DOC one, for those three to get released. And he signed those. He later sued and said it was done under force or threats and all of that, because he supposedly told him he knew where his mother lived and all of that. Well, shit, who didn't know where people's mamas lived in Compton? Eh? That wasn't no mystery. Yeah, something like that was Eric was supposed to claim in his lawsuit. And anybody ever wonder what happened to that lawsuit? It got dropped once Eazy died, and everything just went away. But that will be the takes. That's the real on those subjects. I know I kind of stuttered through it a little bit because it's touchy situations because of talking about those situations, because that did cause a lot of hurts to the Eazy family, and I got a lot of respect for Little E and Big Bruiser, and so that's why I'm tiptoeing and trying to be politically correct. But that would be the three examples of why. Number one, the talk about the Ruthless and Death Row thing was mainly about a reuniting. Don't y'all remember at one time they were talking about even still doing it? And they were going to have either Quick or Snoop play Eazy part after he died. Remember there was some talk even like that, but it never came, it never, ended up happening because Ice Cube started blowing up with West Side Connection, and, Dre eventually left Death Row. But that'd be something for the comment section. Who do y'all think would have been better Eazy if they would have able to got NWA back together? Who would you have liked to see in it? Because I know there was talks of DJ Quick, and then I know there was talks of Snoop playing Eazy. My vote, to be honest, shockingly, and y'all know I'm a Snoop groupie, when it comes to music, I think Quick would have been a better Eazy. Peace, Bumpers.